Hello and welcome to the PPD YouTube channel, folks. Clyde Lindsay here from Pixel Pro Displays. It's great to be back with you again on another Twinkle Tip Friday video, and I've got something very special for you with mapping sequences. Let's get started. This is the xLights GitHub, and I want you to notice this is a closed issue that was added to the GitHub. If you don't know what GitHub is, it's the way you communicate with the developers. Now, the developers are fantastic people. They work hard. They do it all for free, 100%. There is a donate button for xLights. You can donate to them. I highly suggest doing that. But one of the things I want to mention is that sometimes you'll put things in the GitHub and they may be looked past or maybe won't be considered because the developers get to choose what they'd like to work on and what is necessary to work on. So if it's in the season, let's say I posted this one on October 10th, 2023. And today it's 2025, April of 2025. Approximately a year and a half ago, I posted this in there. And the developers at that time in October were probably way more concerned about making sure we had a stable version of xLights where it wasn't crashing whenever you rendered something or whenever you were playing the show or whenever you were sequencing and you were grabbing things and they were popping xLights closed or whatever. So don't take it personally, if something you request doesn't get put into xLights, well, it's not because that they don't want to do everything that's requested. It's that they do it for free. So if you want something put into xLights, you really have to give them a good reason to want to do it. My reason for putting this in was because I was enthralled with the brand new column that they had added earlier in 2023. It says number of effects, and I went into Paint 3D and I did this little mock-up here. It said, what if you could read the number of effects that were in the existing sequence already, and you could know how to what models you didn't map to yet, so you could go back in and map some more. We're going to get into that discussion today because thank you to Mr. Daryl Irwin and thank you to Dan Culp. They added this functionality into xLights where you have not only a number of effects, but you also have a column that says what type of model did you map in from. And in some instances, we map from groups, as you see here, or some instances we map from individual models. And everybody who sequences differently. So that's two nice little pieces of information that xLights is going to be able to now go in, figure out, and add that to your mapping dialog so that you can be much more efficient or better coordinated whenever it comes to your mapping. Let's go ahead and get started with it. So I've downloaded the most recent version of xLights. It's 2025.05. And let's go ahead and we'll click Finish. Now, the reason why we're showing you the release notes is this is where you can go to find out all of the little bits of information that are available in any current download of xLights. Now, the release notes, you can find them by going into xLights. You go to the Help menu, and you can click on the release notes there. That'll open up this file. But it's not just the release notes for this release. It also happens to be release notes for every release of xLights, even back to version xLights 3.0, xLights Nutcracker, whenever it was combined. And if you want to go on a deep dive, you want to go look and see what everybody's added, all these developers have worked on in xLights for all these years, that's a great thing to go read through and learn more about the xLights software. But the hard part is understanding what all of these do. Now, I'm specifically talking about, in this video, about Daryl Irwin adding in the add number of effects to the left side of the import mapping, which is what we're going to go through the rest of this video. So let's go ahead in, and I have this opened up. Let me switch over to my home directory here. There's my layout. So let's go in. Let's do a new sequence. We'll do, it doesn't matter what music we do. And we'll go in, we'll do 40 frames per second, why not? And we'll go ahead and click done. Let's import from a zip file. Import effects, the Brenda Lee sequence here. So now this is nothing crazy. Let's just work on one thing. So this is one of the things about mapping I think most people really underestimate. Mapping one thing at a time and making sure it looks good. Sometimes if you're new at mapping, the hardest thing to do is just map everything all in one long shot. And if you're not familiar with mapping, well, that's a huge distraction, because if you miss something, you don't know what you missed, or you forgot what you called it, and you don't know what you've already used, or it doesn't matter what you used. So do it one thing at a time until you get used to mapping. So let's say I want to map, let's just do the matrix. We'll bring the matrix over. I'll go find my matrix. Here's a matrix. I'll go ahead and click there. And see, now another thing that was added was not just the number of effects, but model type. So this is an actual xLights model that we brought over, as opposed to some of these other things, like there's the candy canes. We go up there. Let's do the candy canes too. So we're going to do the matrix and the candy canes, right? So here's the candy cane group. We'll go ahead and we'll hit candy canes, and we'll double click them right over to there. And it says model group. So now it tells you that you're bringing over, and there's the number of effects right there. It says 24, and the matrix says 137. We'll go ahead and click OK. And we're not going to save. We're not going to save the map. We're just going to click yes here. And now it's brought in. It's brought in all the lyric tracks. It's brought in the effects in there and the candy canes. And now you can scroll down to the bottom. I'm sure somewhere there we go. There's the matrix. And so it brought in our effects. Great, right? Well, after you finish this, we could go ahead and continue importing. Might be a good idea to hit the save button. Just in case, I'm just going to hit save. And I'm going to do another import effects. And we'll go back into our package sequence. There we go. And so now if we look around, we scroll down here, we see candy canes. Look, it has 24 effects on it. That's what we brought in before. So we don't have to worry about the candy canes. What about the matrix? Oh, there's the matrix. We know that that's done. What if I want to work next on, I don't know, let's see. I have a reindeer group. I have a group of reindeer. What would I want to map to those? Well, I really don't have reindeer in the PPD Pro layout, so I've got to come up with something a little bit different. What about if I use the column matrices? Okay, what the heck? Let's bring them over there. We can click and drag them and bring them over, because I really don't have columns in my house yet, even though it might look like I do. But it'll bring that over just for those. Let's see. What about the door wreath stars and the door wreath? Maybe I could bring those over as well. Scroll back up here. Door wreath stars. Well, we'll start with the door wreaths. Check this out. If you click on the door wreaths and you select the door wreath there, you can hit the enter button and hit the enter button, and it copies them down. It goes down one and then down another if they're right in line, just like I did there. So it's a nice little mapping trick if you didn't know that. And those, now that grays them out, that doesn't mean you can't reuse them. So you can still map this over to somewhere else, even though you've mapped it one time. But that's, I wanted to show you this because this is what's really nice about having this number of effects mapped to. And now you can see, we can scroll up and down here. There's some effects there to the door wreath. And if we go down way further, I think there's the door wreath stars. Maybe they've got some effects on those as well. There we go, the door wreath stars. And we can keep going. We can keep importing all of these items one line at a time. And the reason why you might do this is now because you are mapping from a sequence that you're not as familiar with, and you may have missed something. If you do an auto map and you have much more props than that layout that you're mapping from has, then maybe you could go back in and you could begin adding to the things that haven't exactly been mapped before. All right. So as you can see here, I took the time and I mapped over many things over into my sequence. There may be some things in your sequence that you didn't bring effects into. I happen to know that if I go in and import and I go into Brenda Lee, I happen to know that I haven't brought over my singing faces. Now, I'm going to show you that you can bring these over, and I have to scroll to find these. The way my layout is set up, I have the singing Boscoyo stockings is paired with one of my bulbs. So each matrix stocking, there's the singing stockings there. They're usually singer number 1, and then my singing bulbs. There we go. Singing bulbs are number 2. And then I also have, I don't know why it does that. It jumps back up. It shouldn't. There we go. And then I also have a singing snowman. I'll go ahead and put singer number 1 on there. Or it could be singer number 3. Doesn't matter. That way I'm using them all. But if you've already mapped everything over, it would show that there was something here. And I already know that these aren't here because there's nothing listed there. So it's kind of nice. I know that I didn't map them over. I did this on purpose, obviously, because I wanted to demonstrate this to you. But you'll notice, hey, what's missing? What doesn't have effects on it? Since you didn't watch me map everything, what we can do now is we can go through here. Oh, wait, hey, there's nothing on my all display group. There's nothing in my all stars group. Usually there might be something there. But if I take a look over here, oh, there's nothing over there for that needs to be mapped to it. So you know right off the bat, especially if it's a sequencer or a friend or somebody you've mapped sequences from before, this function, this number of effects, is very helpful in helping you figure out if you've missed anything, or if you'd like to add more in, then you know exactly which items have already been populated and which ones haven't been populated. All right, folks, I hope this video this week and this new addition in xLights is enough to get you excited about some things. If you follow along through the whole video, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to comment down below on your opinion of the format of these videos. I enjoy doing these videos, and I primarily do the videos from a standpoint of new people coming into the hobby that don't know the entire full scope of xLights. xLights has been around for well over 12 years, 13 years or so now. And the current iteration, there's tons of videos. I'm not the only one that does videos, but I enjoy doing the videos. If I didn't, I wouldn't do them. There's certainly a lot of work, but I want to make sure that the content we put out is what you need, what you're looking for, and it's packaged in a way that it makes sense and helps you become better with using the software and becoming stronger in the xLights community and learning more about how we do our RGB stuff here. So, with that being said, go ahead down to the comments. Go ahead, feel free to beat me up. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. But I really want to get some of that feedback from you. Guys, that's everything me here this week at Pixel Pro Displays. If you like the video, please give us a huge thumbs up. If you haven't done yet so, hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget the bell for notifications so you never miss another Twinkle Tip Friday video or any other videos that we put out on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis. And if you appreciate the things we do here at Pixel Pro Displays, you can become a PPD Sequence Club member. That's what we do. We sequence, and we enjoy sequencing. And if you join the PPD Sequence Club, we give you one brand new to the store every single month sequence. We've been doing 2 songs for the store now for 3 years. 3 years. New songs. Nobody promises that. But we do guaranteed one every month, brand new to the store. And you get a choice of 3. There's 3 different ones, and we change them out every month. Hope to see you in the club. Hope to see you on our Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. More information down below and on the website. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you watching the video. Take care, and goodbye for now. And now xLights is open. Boy, that was a little bit. Here, let me put this. Today, it's April of 2024, but back on October 10th of 2020, not 2024, it's 2025. Today is April of 2025.